Cooking deer lungs with beans. William Hovey Smith, 2025. On a recent visit to a deer processor, they were in the process of cleaning deer. This is November in Georgia, and we are in the midst of deer season. Our season is very long. I remarked that I would like to eat the heart and liver of deer, and he said, well, if you want them, we're cleaning deer right now. And the guy who was actually butchering the deer said, yeah, I've got a big one just right over here. I just took out. So he gave me what he assumed to be the heart and liver of a deer. Well, when I returned home, I found that it was not the heart. Yeah, great big heart. But it was not the deer liver he gave me, it was the deer lungs. So I hope that fellow is not going to be a surgeon. At any rate, we have lung here, and we were looking around to find, well, how do you cook it? Well, in my book, Backyard Deer Hunting, Converting Deer to Dinner for Pennies per Pound, I cover how to cook the liver and kidneys and have recipes in the back of the book for doing exactly that. But I had never personally known of anyone who ever cooked the lungs. So that was a challenge I took on. And of course, like everybody these days, I immediately went to YouTube. And what we found was Ashley Adamat, Cooking Lungs Nose to Tail Eating. And she did an excellent job of going to Europe and actually pulling recipes from various countries around Europe involved eating lungs. As it turned out, it seems that almost any way you cook them had been used by someone or other for something. Now, this pile containing part of the trachea has been just boiled. Now, this is what I made. And this is after a Romanian recipe which incorporated beans. Well, I wanted to see what beans would do. So we took our beans, and these are red kidney beans, black beans, and garbanzo beans, all in the stew. And we put in some canned tomatoes, 1 can, a can of tomato sauce, 1 can, 2 medium-sized onions, and various spices, oregano, thyme, a little rosemary, basil, and so on. And we came up with what you see here. Now, we also dice up the deer heart and put in here as well. Now, in cooking the deer heart, we actually floured it, mixed it with egg, beaten egg, whole beaten egg, and fried that, and then cut that up small and put it in the mix. And that thickens it, as you see. So, what do we do now? Well, I ate some of it before, so I know it's good. And it's also been approved by hound dogs. They enjoyed it as well. And so we're going to put a little cheese on it. Right here. And we're going to put some croutons on the top, which Ashley also recommended. All right. Now there's a difference in texture between the lungs and the heart meat. They're different muscles and they serve different purposes. And so that is to be expected. Okay. Now that looks like a piece of lung right there. It has a good mouthfeel. Chews easily. Cooking longer, yeah, you would have cooked the beans to death by that time and frame. But tenderize the lung. The red you see is a bit of tomato. Now, you will find various opinions about eating deer lung. Many will say never even touch it. Deer lungs may contain parasites. They may have tuberculosis, which happens sometimes in deer. And generally the way they are slaughtered, or the way animals are generally slaughtered in the U.S., they're done in massive slaughterhouses, and all the offal is dumped down on the floor. And so the lungs can be easily contaminated with intestinal contents. And for that reason, it is forbidden to sell them in the United States. So consequently, no one eats calf lung, for example, although they eat calf liver, and so on. So, others, on the other hand, say that the lungs are nutritious. They contain some good vitamins. They are relatively fat-free because you do remove the fat. Although in many of the recipes from Europe, they actually added fat to it, particularly the clean fat from near the backbone. That was added to it, as well as anything else that happened to be handy, apparently. But you find recipes where the lungs were beaten out flat, breaded and fried, as in a schnitzel. You find recipes where they were mixed with various vegetables, oftentimes potatoes and various other things. And so to make quite a mix of material that might go in your dish. So whatever happened to be in hand, yeah, you went ahead and you threw in the mix. So there's no right or wrong about it. Just use what you got, cook it the way you can, and consume it and enjoy it. Now, the admonition of everyone is you cook this stuff very well done. And I can take no responsibility for anybody who eats deer lung and somehow gets sick. But you take your own risk here. But this particular lung was frozen for several days. Then it was thawed. Then it was very thoroughly cooked. And so, in my opinion, this is quite safe to eat, and I have no problems with it. Nor would I have problems serving it to anyone else. But you do so at your own risk, as in all wild game eating. Well, so we've rectified this little bit of missing knowledge from my book, Backyard Deer Hunting, Converting Deer to Dinner for Pennies per Pound, which you can buy at Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, and remains probably among the best books of its type. I don't tell you how to kill huge deer, but I tell you how to go out and shoot something close to home, inexpensively, and feed your family. But now, this is Hovey Smith. reminding you to hunt what you eat and eat what you hunt. Be legal, be ethical, be safe. Goodbye, God bless, and see you next time.